In the small, forgotten town of Eldridge, there was a house that no one dared to enter. It stood at the edge of the forest, its windows shattered, and its walls covered in ivy. The townsfolk whispered about the house, saying it was cursed, haunted by the spirits of those who had perished within its walls. One stormy night, a young woman named Clara found herself seeking shelter from the rain. She had been traveling through Eldridge, unaware of the house's dark history. Desperate to escape the downpour, she approached the old mansion, its door creaking open as if inviting her inside. Clara stepped into the dimly lit foyer, her footsteps echoing through the empty halls. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the walls seemed to whisper secrets long forgotten. As she ventured further into the house, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. In the parlor, Clara found an old, dusty journal lying on a table. She opened it, revealing pages filled with the frantic scribbles of a man named Jonathan. The entry spoke of strange occurrences, of shadows that moved on their own, and of voices that whispered in the dead of night. As Clara read, the temperature in the room dropped, and she could see her breath in the air. The whispers grew louder, and she felt a cold hand brush against her shoulder. She spun around, but there was no one there. Panic set in, and she decided to leave the house immediately. But as Clara made her way back to the foyer, the door slammed shut, trapping her inside. The whispers turned into screams, and the shadows seemed to come alive, reaching out to her with ghostly fingers. She ran through the halls, searching for an escape, but the house seemed to twist and change, leading her deeper into its dark heart. In the attic, Clara found a small, dusty mirror. As she looked into it, she saw not her own reflection, but the face of a terrified man. It was Jonathan, his eyes wide with fear. He mouthed a single word, "Run." Clara turned to flee, but the shadows closed in around her, their cold fingers wrapping around her arms and legs. She struggled, but it was no use. The darkness consumed her, and she felt herself being pulled into the mirror, into the world of the whispering shadows. The next morning, the townsfolk found the old mansion's door wide open. They ventured inside, but there was no sign of Clara. The only trace of her was the journal, lying open on the parlor table, with a new entry written in her handwriting: "The shadows have taken me. Beware the house at the edge of the forest, for it hungers for souls." The townsfolk sealed the house, vowing never to speak of it again, but on stormy nights, when the wind howls through the trees, they say you can still hear the whispers of the shadows, calling out for their next victim. For more horror stories like this, subscribe to our channel.